शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजम्। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹர ஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாபிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தஹே जगदः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तेरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പീരേന്താത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Let me see who I had. Okay, we'll do a review of 29. Okay, I don't know which Vidya is on. Vidya Raman or sorry, not Vidya. Deepa is not. Okay, the people I thought are not on anyways. All right, so any of you can do 29 and anyone can do 30.
I can do 29. Lakshmi here.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Dasakam 29. उत्कच्चतस्तव करातमृतं हरत्सु दैत्येषु तान् अशरणान् अनुनीय देवान् तिरोददितदेव पवत्प्रभावात्
Udyat.
द्यत्स्वयूत्य
Yeah.
ओ
Udyat.
उद्यत्स्वयूत्य कलहादिताज बभूवुः
So in the
शा
last line, Lakshmi, you're saying, Udyat swayutya kalaha ditija bhabhuvuhu.
उद्यत्स्वयूत्य कलहादितिजा बभूवुः
Rajeshri, and also the Daityeshu, can you say it?
Which one? I think Daityeshu. It's if you want to break it, it's Tan Asharanan Anuniya. But you can say it together also. Tan Asharanan Anuniya.
Okay.
श्यामां रुचापि वयसापि तनुं तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि तुङ्गकुचमण्डलपङ्कुरां त्वं पीयूषकुम्भकलहं परिमुच्य सर्वे दृष्णाकुलाः प्रतियुयुस्त्वदुरोजकुम्भे
Prati
का
Yayus. Sorry, last line. Prati
ओ
Yayus.
ஆமா दृष्णाकुला प्रतिययुस्त्वदुरोजकुम्भे का त्वं मृगाक्षि विपचस्व सुधामिमामित् आरूढरागविवशान् अभियाशतो मून् विश्वस्यते मयि कथं कुडलास्मि दैत्याः इत्यालपन्नभि सुविशवसितान् अदानीः
And the
मो
first line, first
சொல்லுங்க
line, Sudhami Mamiti, we put a T
ஓ
there, and next
டிஎஸ்
line becomes A.
சாரி
So
சாரி நான்
Sudhami
வந்து
Mamiti,
ஓகே
Arudharaga.
ஓகே நான் இத்துன்னு போட்டுருக்கேன் தீன் மாத்தின்றேன் ஓகே मोदात्सुधा कलशमेषु तदत्सु सात्वं दुःश्रेष्ठितं मम सहत्वमिति प्रणुवा पङ्क्ति
Bruvana,
ओ
Bruva.
वमति ब्रुवाणा पङ्क्तिप्रभेदविनिवेशितदेव दैत्या लीलाविलासकथभिः समता सुधां ताम्
Last is Gati Bis. Gati
ओ
Bis.
लीलाविलासगतिभिः समता सुधां ताम् अस्मास्वियं प्रणयिनीत्यशु नित्यसुरेषु देषु जोषं स्थितितेष्वदसमाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवचको निजरूपमेत्य स्वर्बानुम् अर्थपरिपीतसुधां व्यलावीः त्वत्तः सुधाहरणयोग्यफलं परेषु तत्त्वागते त्वयि सुरैः खलु ते व्यगृ व्यगृहन्नन्
Vyagrihnan.
ओ व्यगृह्णन् मूर्छतिरने बलिदैत्यमाया व्यामोहिते सुरगणे त्वमिहा विरासीः त्वं मुकाञ्जकन्त चक्रो जगानबलिजम्बबलान् सपाकान् शुष्कात्र दुष्करवदे नमुसौ सलूने पेनेन किरान् यरुणोरणं त्वं योषावपुर्तनुजमोहनमाहितं ते श्रुत्वा विलोकनकुतूहलवान् महेशः भूतैः समं किरिजया च गतः पदं ते स्तुत्वा ब्रवीदपि मदं त्वमदो तिरोदाः आरामसीमनि च कन्दुककादलीललोलायमान नयनां कमनीं मनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विलकत् वसना मनोभुवेगादनङ्गरिपुरङ्ग समालिलिङ्ग
First line, and the Kanduka Ghata Leela, and the A you missed. That's why it was not landing for you.
ஓ சரி காத லீலா சரி
Yeah.
भूयो विवित्रुतव तवतीम् उपताव्यदेवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वन्मानिदस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तात् रुचस्त्वमववादनिकेतनाथ. श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Rajesh, I can do the next one.
Okay, right.
शक्रेण सन्यति हतोऽपि बलिर्महात्मा शुक्रेण जीविततनुः क्रतुवर्धितोष्मा विक्रान्तिमान्वयनिलीनसुरां त्रिलोकीं चक्रे वशे स तव चक्रमुखादबीतः पुत्रातिदर्शनवशाद् अदितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना त्वत्पूजनं तदुदितं हि पयोवृताख्यं सा द्वादशाहमचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा.
Second line, sorry, third line, Hema. Payo bratakyam.
Okay. पयोवृताख्यं सा द्वादशाहमचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा तस्यावदौ त्वयि निलीनमतेरुमुष्याः श्यामश्चतुर्भुज वपुः स्वयमाविरासीः नम्रां च तामिह भवत्तनयो भवेयं गोप्यं मदीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्नयासीः त्वं काश्यपे तपसि सन्निदधत्तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि गर्भमदिते प्रणुतो विधात्रा प्रासूत च प्रकटवैष्णवदिव्यरूपं सा द्वादशी श्रवणपुण्यदिने भवन्तं पुण्याश्रमं तमभिवर्षति पुष्पवर्षैः हर्षाकुले सुरगणे कृततूर्यघोषे बद्ध्वाञ्जलिं जय जयेति नुतः पितृभ्यां त्वं तत्क्षणे पटुतमं वटुरूपमादाः तावत् प्रजापतिमुखैरुपणीयमौञ्जी दण्डाजिनाक्ष वलयादिभिराच्यमाणः देदीप्यमाणवपुरीशकृताग्निकार्यः त्वं प्रास्थिता बलिगृहं प्रकृताश्वमेधं गात्रेण भाविमहिमोचितगौरवं प्राक् व्यावृण्वतेव धरणीं चलयन्नयासीः छत्रं परोष्मतिरनात्तमिवादधानो दण्डं च दानवजनेष्विव सन्निधातुं तां नर्मदोत्तरतटे हयमेधशालाम् आसेदुषि त्वयि रुचा तव रुद्धनेत्रैः भस्वान् किमेष दहनोऽनु सनत्कुमारो योगीनुकोयमिति शुक्रमुखैः शशङ्के.
Third line, first word, bhaswan.
Okay. Baswan Kimesha Dahano Sanat Kumaro.
Okay, very odd.
Rajesh, Dasakam 30 first Dasakathla first அது செகண்ட் லைன் வந்து பயனிலீன் அசுராம்னு வரணும் இல்லையா?
Bayanileen Asuram Trilokim. Yeah.
Okay. I want to check that.
So let's continue with 9. So Pramila, you can be a student, and Deepa Shrikant, you can be a student. So stanza 9. Anitamashubrigubir mahasabhibhutaihi Tvam ramya rupamasurah pulaka vritangaham bhaktya sametya sukriti parinejya padau tatto yamanvadhita murdhani tirtha tirtham. So we saw in the last one, the beginning of the Vamana Avataram, the incarnation of Vamana Avataram, to Kashyapa and Aditi, and kind of the story that was going as to why that was happening, because Aditi was feeling that, the Asuras have gained strength again. So she wanted somebody to help balance because Bali was becoming very stronger. And on the other end, Maharaja Bali was becoming more and more stronger because he kept performing all these yajnas and he continued to win. So then this Vamana is just a dwarf, right? So when Bhagavan is born, so immediately he comes with the Chatur Bhuja, which is going to be the similar thing that's going to happen in Krishna Avataram also, to show that I am that Narayana who you've been praying to. I've just incarnated, right? And immediately he takes the form of a brahmachari or a small boy, right? Vatuka, and then he gets the Upanayanam, and then he starts going towards the upper banks of river Narmada, where Maharaja Bali is performing his 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. So that's what we saw. And then when he was entering in there, the amount of tejas that was there in Vamana, the people thought Bhaswan, is he sun god himself who was incarnated, or is it Dahano, is it Agni who has come because he's shining so much, or is it the Sanat Kumaras, right, who have personally come here to meet me? So that's what Bali and everybody is welcoming. So he's already coming in with the tejas. That's kind of where we left. So when Vamana then enters into that sacrificial arena, so everybody, like it says Pulaka Vritangaha, means they're getting horripilation all over their body. It's like somebody such a Tejasvi has actually stepped in and they can't understand who is this great person, and they immediately welcome him. And what Bali Maharaja, see, Bali, although he's an Asura, he's a very, very, and it's going to come at the end of this chapter, Dasakam, he knows what is right and what is wrong. He knows the rules. So the moment he sees a Brahmana coming like this, and Brahmana, I always clarify that doesn't mean anybody who wears a punal. You have to have the appropriate characteristics and you should follow the appropriate rules and regulations to be a great personality. So the Brahmana word is generally used very loosely nowadays, but that's not the intent here. So when Bali sees this brahmachari coming, he immediately washes his feet, makes Vamana sit down, and then he washes his feet, and then with that water, he sprinkles it on his head, saying that you are a great personality. I don't know who you are, but I know you are a great person. So Anitamashu Bhrigubhir, so along with Bhrigu and all the rishis who are seated there, Bhrigubhir, Mahasa Bibhutaihi, put a visarga and comma at the end of that line. Next line, the is goes away. Twam Ramya Rupam, I'm just breaking at that ma if you want. Ramya Rupam Asuraha, put a F, Asuraf Pulaka Vritangaha, Bhaktya Sametya Sukruti Parinijya Padau, comma, Tattoyam, breaking at that ma, Tattoyam Anvadhrita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham. So Tirtha Tirtham itself means holy water. Tirtha Tirtham means the holiest of the holy water, which means the water which is coming from washing your feet. That one, Bali Maharaja puts it on his Murdhani, on his head.
Last line split solungo.
Tattoyam Anvadhrita. It'll be easy to break that. Yeah. Anitamashu Bhrigubhir Mahasabhibhutaihi Twam Ramya Rupamasura Pulaka Vritangah Bhaktya Sametya Sukriti Parinijya Padau Tattoyam Anvadhrita Murdhani Tirtha Tirtham.
आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृती परिणिज्य पादौ तत्तोऽयम् अन्वदृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम् आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृती परिणिज्य पादौ तत्तोऽयम् अन्वदृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम्
आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृति परिणिज्य पादौ तत्तोऽयमन्वदृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम् आनीतमाशु भृगुभिर्महसाभिभूतैः त्वां रम्यरूपमसुरः पुलकावृताङ्गः भक्त्या समेत्य सुकृतिपरिनिज्य पादौ तत्तोयमन्वधृतमूर्धनि तीर्थतीर्थम्.
Deepa, the third line, Sukriti is a long E, okay? Bhaktya
Sukriti.
sametya Sukriti parinichi. Okay. Tan. Prahlada vamshajataya kratubhirdvijeshu Vishwasato nutadidam ditijopi lebhe Yette padambugirishasya shirobhilalyam Sattvam vibho gurupuralaya palayetaha. So here Bhaktipur is questioning, how is it that Bali Maharaja, who we say keep saying he's an asura and all of that stuff, but how is he getting the opportunity to wash Bhagavan's feet and take that water and put it on his head? So what has he done, right? So he says there are several reasons why he's getting the opportunity. One, he's Prahlada Vamsha Jataya. He is in the ancestry of Prahlada, because Bali is the grandson of Prahlada. So Prahlada is one of the greatest of the devotees. So naturally, if you're born in the lineage of Prahlada, there should be some positiveness in that you might have. So he's blessed to be born in the lineage of Prahlada. That is one. The second thing is, although he is in a Asura, he's doing, see, Asuras does not mean they're going around killing people all the time. It's just, think of it as they also do all the rituals. They also perform all the homams and everything. It is just they have more tamas in them. Tamasic energy is high in them. In the Devas, the Sattva energy is high. That's the only difference. They all are still learned people. They all still do the same thing. It's not like they show in the movies with two horns and everything, right? So Bali Maharaja he performs 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, right? So he's actually going to become the next Indra. That's that he has more tamasic energy, more arrogance, more hatred, more anger is more pronounced in them. So he still performed so many sacrifices and everything. So it is all because of this, or it's because of Diti jo believe. So it's Dvijeshu. Kratibir Dvijeshu means that he respects the Brahmanas. He knows how to respect them, how to take care of them. And you'll see in the next chapter, he's always willing to give stuff off in charity. So because of all these good things that he has done, Bali is getting this opportunity to wash Vamana's feet and sprinkle the water. So anyway, with this Dasakam comes to an end. O Guru Ayappa, please eradicate my ailments as well. Prahlada Vamsha Jataya Kratubhir Dvijeshu, Vishwasato Nutadidam Ditijopi Lebhe Yette Padambu Girishasya Shirobhi Lalyam, Sa Tvam Vibho Gurupuralaya Palayetaha.
Rajesh, first line மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் திரும்ப ஸ்பிளிட் சொல்லுங்க. பிரஹ்லாத வம்ச
Jataya
ஆ
Kratubhir
ஆ
Dvijeshu.
கிரதுபிர். Okay, thank you.
Prahlada Vamshajataya Kratubhirdvijeshu Vishwasato Nutadidam Ditijopi Lebhe Yette Padambugirishasya Shirobhilalyam Sattvam Vibho Gurupuralaya Palayetaha.
प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतोऽनुतथितं दिदिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेथाः प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतोऽनुतथितं दिदिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेथाः
प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतोऽनुतदिदं दित्तिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेताः प्रह्लादवंशजतया क्रतुभिर्द्विजेषु विश्वासतोऽनुतदिदं दितिजोऽपि लेभे यत्ते पदाम्बुगिरिशस्य शिरोभिलाल्यं सत्वं विभो गुरुपुरालय पालयेताः.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, move to Dasakam 13:1. Bali Vidvamsana, which is humbling of Bali. So this follows the four-liner tune, but it is not the long sentences. It's 3/4 kind of long. प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन्नजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं सञ्जगाद मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वद त्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये. So we now continue from there. So Bali Maharaja is welcoming him into this arena because this Yajna Shala, this 100th Ashwamedha Yajnam is happening right now. So he welcomes Vamana into there and he says that we are absolutely blessed that you have actually come here, because there's just the tejas you are bringing. We know you are somebody special. It feels like you coming has amplified, the benefit of this Yajnam today. And he says you are a Brahmana who has actually come here. It feels to me that because why would some random person come? You come here, it feels to me, because you want to ask something of me. Because when they do this homam, they also do a lot of charity and dhanam that goes along with it. So he says, looks like, you look like a poor Brahmana. He's a small Brahmana boy, so having very basic clothing and everything. He says, it looks like you have actually come to ask me for something, for some charity. He says, I'm really pleased with you because, like we always say, this is a really cute kid. We say, you're absolutely cute. I just want to give you something. In this case, he's saying you're very handsome. At the same time, you're also Tejasvi. So I want to really give you something. I feel like giving you something. So he says, ask what you want. He says, do you want a cow? Because cow is very important to Brahmanas because it gives the milk for Abhishekam. It gives the ghee for the fire, everything. So do you want cow? Do you want a house? Do you want food to eat? Or do you want a girl? Do you want an appropriate Brahmana girl in marriage? Or do you want an entire village? Whatever you want, you can ask. Or if you want even all of them, right? I will give you all of them because I'm just extremely impressed with you, right? He says, ask whatever you want. Prithya Daityaha, remove that is and put Visarga, comma, Daityaha. Tava Tanumaha, put a F. Tava Tanumaha. Prekshanat sarvatapi, comma, Twam aradhyan najita. You can break it the first ma there. Twam aradhyan najita, comma, Rachayan anjalim. See, anywhere, anytime the double na is coming, it just means that the previous word ends with the in, the next word starts with the a. But that in and a, when it comes, it becomes a double na. So you can just say it together. But if you're not able to, you break it into a in and a. Okay. So here, Rachayan anjalim sanjagada. Mattah kimte samabhilashitam, comma, viprasuno vadatvam, comma, vittam bhaktam bhavanamavanim vapi, comma, sarvam pradhasye.
Last line,
Hmm.
the Vyaktama.
Yeah, some books have Vyaktam. So just change it to Vittam, just to be consistent. It means the same thing. So Vittam.
Viktam.
Vittham. Vittam. So it and tha. So Vittam.
And the next one, Bhavana Mavani, longy or short?
Longy. Bhavana Mavanim Vapi. Vapi is a short E. Bhavana Mavanim is long E. Prithya Daityah Tavatanumah Prekshanat Sarvatapi Twamaradhyan Rachayan Anjalim Sanjagada Mattah Kim Te Samabhilashitam Viprasuno Vadatvam Vittam Bhaktam Bhavanamavanim Vapi Sarvam Pradasye.
प्रीत्या दैत्यः प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन्नजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं सञ्जगात मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वद त्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन्नजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं सञ्जगात मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वद त्वं वित्थं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये
प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमहः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन् अजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं सञ्जगाद मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वद त्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये.
Deepan, the second line, last word, Sanjagada. I think you said id, just a da.
Okay.
Sanjagada. And then third line, first word, Mattaha. It takes a if, H sound. Mattah kimte.
Mattah. प्रीत्या दैत्यः तव तनुमहः प्रेक्षणात् सर्वतापि त्वामाराध्यन् अजित रचयन्नञ्जलिं सञ्जगाद मत्तः किं ते समभिलषितं विप्रसूनो वद त्वं वित्तं भक्तं भवनमवनीं वापि सर्वं प्रदास्ये.
Again, the second line of the last word can be Sanjagada.
Sanjagada.
Yeah, I think the id you're stopping it there. It's just a da, not a id there. Chance two. तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन् भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासित त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगतिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्. So when Bali says you can take any of this or you can take even all of that, So, Bhagavan is very pleased that Bali, he's like, first of all, you should have the heart to give, right? Whatever it is. And he's not expecting anything in return. Bali just wants to give as charity, which is the highest form of charity, is not expecting anything in return. So, he's very happy that Bali is going in that way. And he says that it is naturally expected, oh Bali Maharaja, because you are in that clan of Prahlada. So it is known that you will have all the right things. And plus, you're also surrounding yourself with the right people. Like Shukracharya, Bhrigu, all these great rishis are there advising you. So naturally, your family, your ancestry has been in that, has got the intent of giving, right? Which is everything. But he says, I don't want anything. He says, I only want bhumim pada traya. He says, I only want the bhumi, amount of land that is covered by 3 of my feet, right? That's all I want. Because Bhattripad says, because if you immediately go say, okay, give me everything, then people will think you're very greedy, right? So you should not immediately say, yeah, give me whatever you are offering. So sarvam dehi. If you give me everything, if you ask, and people will start ridiculing you. So you decided not to ask for everything, just ask for 3 feet of the land. Tamakshinam Bali Giram Upakarnya. If you want to break at that ma, if it's easier, you can do that. Giram Upakarnya, Karunya Purnopi. So put a pi, short p at the end of that line, Purnopi. Next line, the pya becomes a. Asyotsekam Shamayitumana, Daitya Vamsham Prashamsan Bhumim Pada Traya Parimitam, Prartayamasita Tvam, Sarvam Dehiti Tu Nigadite, Kasya Hasyam Navasyat. Tamakshinam Baligiramupakarnya Karunya Purnopi Asyotsekam Shamayitumana Daitya Vamsham Prashamsan Bhumim Padatraya Parimitam Prartayamasita Tvam Sarvam Dehi Titu Nikatite Kasya Hasyam Navasyat.
Rajeshji, on the second line, Shamayitu Manaha போட்டிருக்கு என்னோட புக்ல.
Visarga illenga, you can just remove it and just put a comma. Shamayitumana.
तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन् भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासि तत्त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात् तामक्षीणां बलिगिरमुपकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन् भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमिता प्रार्थयामासि तत्त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
Pramila, the first line.
Yeah.
Baligiram upakarnya.
Oh, you want to break that?
No. I think that that word, you are saying something different.
Okay, sure. Okay. Tamaksheenam baligiram upakarnya. Thank you.
तामक्षीणां बलिगिरम् कर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं क्षमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन् भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासि तत्त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
The third line, prarthayam.
प्रार्थयाम. तामक्षीणां बलिगिरम् उपाकर्ण्य कारुण्यपूर्णोऽपि अस्योत्सेकं शमयितुमना दैत्यवंशं प्रशंसन् भूमिं पादत्रयपरिमितां प्रार्थयामासि तत्त्वं सर्वं देहीति तु निगदिते कस्य हास्यं न वा स्यात्.
विश्वेशं मां त्रिपदमिह किं याचसे भालिशस्त्वं सर्वां भूमिं वृणु किममुनेत्यालपत्वां सदृप्यन् यस्माद्धर्पात् त्रिपदपरिपूर्त्य क्षमः क्षेपवादान् बन्धं चासावगमत् अथ दर्घोऽपि गाढोपशान्त्यै. So Bali, Maharaj Bali, right now you have to understand the context, right? He's performed 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. He's one Yajna, one more he has to perform, then he literally becomes the next Indra, because Indra is just a position. So he's that powerful right now. And, at that time, a small boy is coming, and then you ask, what do you want, and he says, just give me a small land equal to 3 of my small feet. So Bali feels a little insulted with that, right? He says, although you appear like a small boy, he says, but you're not mature enough. He says, when you're given an opportunity, you don't know what to ask for. He says, I have the entire 3 worlds under my control right now, right? All the worlds are under my control. And you are asking for something so small, but I'm very pleased. It looks like you're a small boy. I'm pleased with your sweet words, but you don't have any intelligence to this, right? So he says, you ask even for Sarvam Bhumim Brinu. You says you want to take out the entire earth. You ask for me, I will give it to you. Because he says, the pride in it, he says that if somebody has come and asked me for something, I don't want this person to go ask anybody else for anything in his life, right? I can give you as much as you want, that I don't want you to go beg for anything else anymore in your life. So he says, it is like an insult to me if you only ask for all of this stuff. So he says, ask for anything you want, anything more that you want as well. So here at the end is saying, one of the reasons, there's several reasons why this Vamanavataram, this Bali Vidvamsanam happens. One other thing also is to remove the pride, because to move up in spiritual thing, you need to have detachment. That Vairagyam is very important. And that Vairagyam, as long as you have pride, you will not have the detachment, because you're so proud of all the accomplishments and all the great things, you will never get detachment. So that was important. It was the last step that was missing in Bali's journey, because of which this whole incident is actually happening, which is what is mentioned in the last one. Ghadopashantiye is to give him complete detachment that you are actually now having this. Vishvesham mam tripada miha kim, yachase balishas tvam, sarvam bhumim brinu, so the next word cannot break it. You have to say the whole word. Kimamune tyalapat tvam. You can just break that it there. So kimamune tyalapat tvam sadripyan. Yasma darpat, tripada paripurtya Kshamaha Kshepavadan. So you have to say that Visarga, because Ksha is coming later, so you cannot avoid it. So Kshamaha Kshepavadan, Bandam Chasavagamat. So we're just breaking the da, it and a, Chasavagamat, next word starts with the a, Ata Darhopi Gadopashantye. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yachase bhalishastvam sarvam bhumim brinu kimamune tyalapatvam sadripyan yasmadarpat tripada paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan bandham chasavagamat atadarhopi gadhopashantye.
Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yajase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu munetyalapatvam sadripyan yasmat darpat tripada paripurtya kshamah kshepavadan bandham chasavagamat Adadarhopi gadopashantyai.
Amila, the third line. Paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan.
Kshamaha, okay. Kshamaha kshepavadan. Vishvesham mam tripadamiha kim yajase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalapatvam sadripyan yasmat darpat tripada paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan bandham chasavagamat adadarhopi gadopashantyai.
Vishvesham matripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetya sadripyan yasmadarpat tripada paripurtya kshamaha shepavadan bandham chasavagamadat darhopi gado pashantyai.
Last line. Chasavagamat. Then Ata Darhopi.
Chasavagamat.
Atha, and the da and the it and a, right? The previous da that you broke it. So it becomes Atha Darhopi. Got it?
Yeah. Vishvesham matripadamiha kim yachase balishastvam sarvam bhumim vrinu kimamunetyalepantvam sadripyan yasmat parth tripada paripurtya kshamaha kshepavadan bandham chasavagamat adarhopi gadopashantyai.
Answer 4. Padhatraiha yadina mudito vishtapairnapi tushyete ityuktesmin varada bhavate datu kameta tuhyam daityacharyaha tava khalu parikshartinah preranatam mamadhiyam harirayamiti vyaktameva bhabhashe. So when Bali Maharaj says, take whatever it's insulting for me, like when you just ask for 3 feet. So Vamana says that in this world, people have different kinds of desires. He says you can take any desire that you have, whether it be around wealth or around food or house, whatever the desire you have. He says, even if you give them the most one can get in this world around that, they will never be satisfied, because it says this, because it's impossible to control your senses. It's the only way is to control your senses. Your senses cannot be satisfied. Elon Musk got $1 trillion pay package approved yesterday or day before in the board meeting. I'm sure he wants 2 trillion, right? But the point being, like you can never be saying something is enough for us, right? He says that's not because of the quantity or quality of it. It is just because you don't know how to control your senses. That is the biggest issue that everybody has. So Vamana is saying, so with this, even if you give me all the three worlds, I am not going to be satisfied, because I will want something more beyond this universe also, right? So if someone needs to be satisfied, they can be satisfied even with the 3 feet of land, or they're not going to be satisfied even if they give them all the three worlds. So it doesn't matter. So I don't want to just give me the 3 feet of land. So that's what Vamana is saying. So at the time, Bali is like very impressed. So he's saying, okay, I'm going to give it to you. So, like before you promise, so you'll take a drop of water and then you put it on it, saying, I'm promising to give you that, right? So at that time, Shukracharya, who's Bali's guru, he's saying, he comes to stop Bali Maharaja there, saying, don't do this. He says, this is Mama Deya. Ma means no. So don't give this, because this is Hari Rayamiti. He says, this is Bhagavan Hari himself, who has been born to Kashyapan Aditi, and he is coming in the form of this dwarf only because he wants to take everything away from you. So he says it is okay, do not give anything, right? And Shukracharya even gives him, because sometimes people say, oh, I already promised, right? So how can I now take my word back? Shukracharya says, not yet. He says, before you give something, you have to say Om and then give it, and then put a drop of water to firm that up. He says, you didn't say the word Om, you haven't put the drop of water on it. So technically, you have not promised. So you should still be able to withdraw your promise away and do not do this, because if you do that, you're going to lose everything that you actually have. So that's what Shukracharya is stopping Bali from saying, don't do this, you're going to lose everything. Padatraya yadina mudito, Vishtapair napi tushyet. Put a it at the end of that line. Tushyet, comma. Next line, the D becomes E. Ityuktesmin varada, comma. Bhavate dhatu kameta toyam. Daityacharyaha, that is goes away, visarga, comma. Daityacharyaha. Tava khalu Parikshartinah, put a F to join. Parikshartinah preranatam, comma. Ma deyam harirayamiti, comma. Vyaktam eva bhabashe. I'm just breaking at that. Vyaktam eva bhabashe.
ராஜேஷ் ஒரு 2 கொஸ்டின். ஒன்று வந்து இந்த இந்த இதுல செகண்ட் லைன்ல துஷ்யேதா துஷ்யேதா, பிகாஸ் இங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன். ஓகே ஓகே.
அது வந்து and the way that thing works is, when you're writing it, it's a da, right? Because it's tushyed ityuktesmin, right? But when you're separating it and splitting it, it becomes a it at that time. It will take the sound of an it.
Okay, okay. And the other thing is, in the previous stanza, the fourth line, the kima munetyala pat, apram twama, pat and twam. Okay.
Yeah, it's two half it, two it sounds there.
Okay, okay. Okay.
லாஸ்ட் லைன் கொஞ்சம் திருப்பி சொல்ல முடியுமா?
மாமா தேயம் ஹரி ரயமிதி, comma, vyaktam eva bhabashe. The may that is there, other one I'm just breaking it for easiness. So hari rayamiti.
Rayamiti.
Last line, the Vyakti meva pabashin sollama.
You can say it together. All of these things you can say it together. The break is only if you're not able to. I don't want you to break it as Vyakta meva bhabashe. Like, you cannot break it that way, right? So if you're able to say the whole word, that's totally fine. Padhatraiha yadina mudito विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातु कामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवाभभाषे.
पादत्रया यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातुकामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवाभभाषे. पादत्रया यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातुकामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवाभभाषे.
पादत्रया यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवत दातुके कामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवावभाषे. पादत्रया यदि न
पादत्रय्या half ya full ya.
पादत्रय्या यदि न मुदितो विष्टपैर्नापि तुष्येत इत्युक्तेऽस्मिन् वरद भवते दातुकामे ततोऽयं दैत्याचार्यः तव खलु परीक्षार्थिनः प्रेरणार्थं मामादेयं हरिरयमिति व्यक्तमेवावभाषे.
We'll switch halfway. Mrinal, you can be student, and Vidya Medal, you can be student. Stanza 5. Yachatyebham yadi sa bhagavan पूर्णकामोऽस्मि सोऽहं दास्यामेव स्थिरमिति वदन् काव्यशब्दोऽपि दैत्यः विन्ध्यावल्या निजदयितया दत्तपाध्याय तुभ्यं चित्रं चित्रं सकलमपि सत्प्रार्पयत्तोय पूर्वम्. So Shukracharya is clearly telling him, don't do this. As a guru, I'm telling you, you do this, that's going to be your end, right? So when she says that, Bali now comes to realize, okay, this is not an ordinary boy. He looked powerful, but like I thought, he's not an ordinary boy. Maybe he is Bhagavan Hari himself who has actually come here. So he just thinks about it, and then he comes back and says that very nice statement Bali says. He says that all of us perform all of these yajnam, Ashwamedha yajna, all of these things you are performing to please that Supreme Lord. Now, that Supreme Lord himself has come here asking for something, right? So you do all these things to make him happy. Now, if that Bhagavan himself has come here to ask for something, then how can you say no to it? Because saying no to it means it just breaks the fundamental rule of you doing everything, right? So he says that doesn't make sense. He says, first of all, if it is Bhagavan himself who has come, then that is the highest honor I can get, which is I don't have to even perform all of these things, right? He himself has come asking. That's number one. Number two is, even if it is Bhagavan Vishnu, out of some reason, he is not taken his original form. He is coming in the form of this brahmachari and is specifically asking me for something. So in that case, even if he wants to get rid of me, even if he is my enemy, I am not going to say no, because he has come and asked me for something. So at that time, I'm never going to say no, and let it be that Bhagavan is coming and taking everything from me. I will give it to him. So he's very firm on that, saying, even if I'm going to get cheated here, if I'm going to get tricked or something is going to happen, that's totally fine. And this is an important thing, because later on in Dashakam 61 or something, you will see, we'll see one more story like this of Yajjuva Patni. Krishna will go, they will all go to these Brahmins who are performing all these homams, and they will go ask for some food. The Brahmins will say, no, because they're saying we're performing this homam. You have to wait till the homam gets over. Till that homam gets over, you don't get anything, right? Then they will bypass and go ask the wives. The wives will give them food, right? So at that time, they will give the same explanation, saying that, they'll realize saying that Bhagavan himself is coming and asking. And then we say no, right? We say, I have to follow my procedures, I have to follow my rules, and I cannot break my rules, right? So here, that's what he's saying. All these rules are irrelevant when Bhagavan himself has come and asked. So be it, let him take everything. So at that time, Shukracharya gets offended. He says, I'm walking away because I don't want to see you lose everything. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to lose everything today. This is the last day for you, right? As the ruler of these 3 worlds. And Shukracharya goes away. But Bali continues, and his wife, Vindhyavalya, that's the name of his wife. So they both make Vamana sit down, and then, they offer that water and then firm up, saying that, yes, 3 feet of land that you measure, we will give it to you. So Chitram in the last line just means how wonderful, how great it is, right? Even though he knows he's going to lose everything, he's not worried about it, and he is going forward with it. Yachatyevam yadisa Bhagavan, Purna Kamosmi Soham, Dasyameva Stiramiti Vadan, Kavya Shaptopi Daityah, Vindhya Valya Nija Daitaya, Datta Padhyaya Tubhyam, Chitram, Sakalamapi Sa Prarpayat. So I'm just breaking it, that it there. Prarpayat Toya Purvam. Yachatyevam yadi sa Bhagavan Purnakamosmi Soham Dasyameva Stiramiti Vadan Kavya Shaptopi Daityah Vindhyavalya Nijadaitaya Dattapadhyaya Tubhyam Chitram Sakalamapi sa Prarpayat Toya Purvam.
Yachatyevvam yadi sa Bhagavan Purnakamoऽस्मि soham dasyameva stiramiti vadan kavyashaktopi daityah Vindhyavalya nijadaitaya dattapadyaya tubhyam chitram sakalamapi sa prarpayattoya purvam. Yachatyevvam yadi sa Bhagavan Purnakamoऽस्मि soham dasyameva stiramiti vadan kavyashaktopi daityah Vindhyavalya nijadaitaya dattapadyaya tubhyam chitram sakalamapi sa prarpayattoya purvam.
Now in the second line, Kavya Shaptopi, ip sound. Kavya Shaptopi Daityah.
Kavya Shaktopi Daityah.
No, I think, you are saying ik. It is ip pa. Kavya Shaptopi Daityah.
Kavya Shaktopi Daityah.
No. SHAP, Shap.
Shaptopi, okay.
Yeah.
Kavya Shaptopi Daityah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Rajesh, I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
In the second line, first word, it is dasyameva. It's not dasyameva, correct? Ya is there, right?
Yeah, the dasyam, it's dasyami eva. So it is like, it's a sandhi there. But dasyam eva, ya sound.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yachatyevvam yadi sa Bhagavan Purnakamoऽस्मि soham dasyamyeva stiramiti vadan kavyashaptopi daityah Vindhyavalya nijadaitaya dattapadyaya tubhyam chitram sakalamapi sa prarpayattoya purvam. Yachatyevvam yadi sa Bhagavan Purnakamoऽस्मि soham dasyamyevam stiramiti vadan kavyashaptopi daityah Vindhyavalya nijadaitaya dattapadyaya tubhyam chitram sakalamapi sa prarpayat Toya Purvam.
Answer 6. Nissandeham diti kulapatau Tvaya shesharpanam tadvyatanvane Mumuchurishaya samara pushpavarsham Divyam rupam tavacha taditam Pashyatam vishwabhajam Uchaihi Avrudat avadhi kritya vishwanda bhandam. So Nissandeham, so is not even having an inclination of doubt, right? So with that, he's fully going forward and saying, do take, we'll give it. And then he and his wife offer it. So at that time, the Bhagwan who was a Vamana, who was a dwarf, now is becoming a Trivikrama, the one who, in 3 steps takes over the entire world. So we saw earlier, long time back in Dasakam 6, we saw the Virat Purusha form of Bhagavan, where we said the entire 14 worlds and everything that is there inside of it is inside Bhagavan, right? That's kind of how we saw that everything is contained within his body, but he is also outside of it, right? So Bhagavan's size is growing, and very few people got this darshan. Bali is one of them who is able to see that Virat Purusha form, where he's saying that all the 14 worlds is inside of this Bhagavan. That is the form, the size that Bhagavan actually takes, right? So later on, when you say, oh, how does he keep 3 steps? The point is, he's saying that the entire 14 worlds is inside of me. I don't have to put a step on anything to take over a region, right? All these 14 worlds are inside of me. So that is the Virat Purusha form that he sees, which later on Yashoda is not quite going to see Virat Purusha form, but she's going to see all the worlds inside, right? So anyway, so here Bali is seeing that. And then he's seeing that as he's growing bigger and bigger, everything is now becoming inside this Bhagavan. He himself is inside, right? That's how he's seeing that form of the Vishwanda, the Vishwa Andha, the whole Hiranyandam, Brahmandam is inside of this Bhagavan. That's what he sees. Nissandeham diti kula patau, comma, Tvaya shesharpanam tad, put a plus, Vyatan vane, and then put a comma. So Tvaya shesharpanam tat vyatanvane, comma, mumuchur rishayaha, put a is, rishayas, samaraha, put a f, samaraf, pushpavarsham. That just says everybody is praising Bali. All the devas, everybody are praising Bali, saying he's really great for having offered all this. Divyam rupam tavacha tadidam, comma, Pashyatam Vishwabhajam im, at the end of that line, comma, Vishwabhajam. Next line, that mu that is there becomes u. So this the break is going to be a little confusing, but if you know Sanskrit, you will understand the context. But anyway, so the uchaihi, so that ra will go away, put a visarga comma, uchaihi, comma. Next word will start with the a. Avridhat avadhi kritya. So you can say the whole word together, but you will not be able to. So for those who are following Sanskrit, there's a second dha and there's a first da. That first da, I'm just breaking it as it and the a. So avridhat avadhi kritya vishwanda bhandam. Then you'll be able to say it easily. I'll say the last line again. Uchaihi. That ra goes away, visarga, comma, avridhat avadhikritya vishwanda bhandam.
Sorry, Rajesh, on the last sentence, the first word, uchai ruchaihi, yeah?
The uchair ne cholita becomes next word becomes uchair uchaihi.
Uchair uchaihi. Okay.
So it's uchai is tall. Uchair uchaihi means taller and taller. That's what it is actually meaning, right? So uchair uchaihi continues to go. So
thank you.
Rajesh, and where does the comma come? Uchai,
after uchair uchaihi, after that visarga.
Okay, thank you.
After that. Nissandeham diti kulapatau Tvaya shesharpanam tad vyatanvane Mumuchur rishaya samara pushpavarsham Divyam rupam tavacha tadidham Pashyatam vishwabhajam Uchairuchaihi Avridhat avadhi kritya vishwanda bhandam.
Nissandeham ditikulapatau त्वय्यशेषार्पणं व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुरुषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदितं पश्यतां विश्वभाजम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवरुधत् अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम् निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्ऋषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदितं पश्यतां विश्वभाजम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम्.
Third line, last word, Vishwabhajam. Awesome.
Vishwabhajam. Okay.
निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्ऋषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम् निस्सन्देहं दितिकुलपतौ त्वय्यशेषार्पणं तद्व्यातन्वाने मुमुचुर्ऋषयः सामराः पुष्पवर्षम् दिव्यं रूपं तव च तदिदं पश्यतां विश्वभाजाम् उच्चैरुच्चैः अवधीकृत्य विश्वाण्डभाण्डम्.
Answer 7. Twatpadaghram nijapadaгаtam pundaritkodbhavosau kunditoheihi asijadapunadyajalam vishwalokan harshotkarshat subahunadrute kecharairutsaveस्मिन् bherim nignan bhuvanamacharajambavan bhaktishali. So now you have to separate out what we heard in the previous versus what's going to happen. So in the previous one, more was like Bhagavan showing him that Virat Rupam. Now, okay, so but that doesn't mean that he's actually going outside. It's like, telling that I'm sitting in a stadium watching a match, but I'm saying the full stadium also on the TV, but I'm inside the stadium. So it's more like kind of showing it, right? So he's showing that entire Brahmandam inside of Bhagavan. Now, that form of Vamana, who's becoming like Trivikrama, with the first step, he covers everything which is from earth to the bottom 7 worlds. All of them is covered with the first step. And with the second step, he is putting it on the top 7 worlds, top 6 worlds. And such that the tip of the feet, which is going and touching the top 6 worlds, Tvat Pada Agram, the tip of your thumb of your feet, is going and hitting Brahma in Satyaloka, which is the top world. So Brahma with the Kundi Toyehi, he is taking water from his Kamandalu and he is doing Abhishekam to the feet of Bhagavan of Trivikrama sitting in Satyaloka. He says, which is what becomes this heavenly Ganges, which flows through some connection of what thing that flows through all the worlds, which is the heavenly Ganges, not the Ganges we have here. So anyway, so that then becomes the flow, the water that is flowing through the feet. It becomes the river Ganges, which is connecting all the top 6 worlds. Anyway, so with that, he's now going and covering off all of those worlds with just 2 of these feet. So at the time, they says Jambavan Bhaktishali. How is Jambavan coming here? Jambavan comes in Ramayanam. Jambavan is also going to come in Krishna Avataram because Jambavati marriage is happening. Because Jambavan, along with Hanuman and a few others, are Chiranjeevis. They are there over a lot of Manvantharas, right? They are, including Parashurama is also going to be there for a lot of things. Markandeya, all of them. So anyway, so Jambavan is one of those Chiranjeevis. So they are all celebrating here because they are all witnessing this avatar of Bhagavan. Now, it's very easy for Bhagavan to just take whatever he wants from Bali. Like we saw in the 28th chapter, came as Mohini, came as Narayana, took everything. But this is just one of the leela, just to go through one way of accomplishing the task, right? So everybody is enjoying that avataram, and Jambavan and all of them are going around celebrating, enjoying this avataram. Tvat padagram nija pada gatam, comma, Pundari kodbhavosau, comma, this one word, Pundari kada, the one who has come from the lotus, which is Brahma. So Pundari kodbhavosau, comma, Kundi to yehi. So the ra that is there becomes a visarga and a comma. To yehi, visarga, comma. Next word starts with the a. So that this one also the sandhi is there. I'm going to break it like how I did previously, if you want to. Asichat, the da that is there, I'm breaking it into a it and a a. So asichat apunad jalam. Okay, if you want to further break it, it's apunat jalam, but you can say it together. Asichat apunad jalam vishwa lokan. So the ra that is there, we just broke it into a visarga and a. That's it. Harshot karshat, comma, Subhahu Nandrite Kecharair Utsavesmin, just breaking at the ra, Kecharair Utsavesmin, comma, Bherin Nignanne, comma, Bhuvanam Acharaj Jambavan Bhakti Shali. So Bhuvanam Acharaj, again breaking at the ma for convenience. All of these things you can say it together, okay? You don't have to necessarily break. It's only I'm breaking it if you are not able to say it together. So Tvatpadagram Nijapadagatam Pundari Kodbhavosau Kundi Toyehi Asichadapunadya Jalam Vishwalokan Harshot Karshat Subahunandrute Kecharairutsavisminne Bherim Nignan Bhuvanamachara Jambavan Bhakti Shali.
Sorry, fourth line Bhuvanam Acharach நீங்க பிரேக் பண்ணலாம்னு சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா? Acharach வந்து ஜாவா சாவா? Acharach
Actually it's acharat it, but because ja is coming later, it takes a sound of ij, j. So acharaj Jambavan.
Okay. Vatpadagram nijapadaгаtam pundarikoddhavosau bhavosau kundito yaihi asichat apunadyajalam vishvalokan harshotkarshat subahunanrute kecharairutsavesmin bherim nignan Bhuvanamacharajambavan bhaktishali Tvatpadagram nijapadagatam pundarikoddhavosau kundito yaihi asichat apunadyajalam vishvalokan harshotkarshat subahunanrute kecharai rutsavesmin bherim nignan Bhuvanamachara Jambavan Bhakti Shali
त्वत्पादाग्रं निजपदगतं पुण्डरीकोद्भवोऽसौ कुण्डीतो यैः असिचत् अपुनाद्यज्वलं विश्वलोकान् हर्षोत्कर्षात् सुबहुननृते केचरैरुत्सवेऽस्मिन् भेरीं निघ्नन् भुवनमचरज्जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली त्वत्पादाग्रां निजपदगतं पुण्डरीकोद्भवोऽसौ कुण्डीतो यैः असिचदत् अपुनाद्यज्वलं विश्वलोकान्.
Vidya, that is Apunadyajalam, not Jwalam.
Yeah. Apunadyajalam Vishwalokan Harshotkarshat Subahunandrute Kecharai Rutsavesmin Bherim Nignan भुवनमचराज्जाम्बवान् भक्तिशाली.
Little bit of a tongue twister, Dashakam, this is, but it's like once if you practice it a few times and you pause at the right places, it will just land, We'll quickly rush. We have only 15 minutes. Stanza 8. Tavadhaityastvamumati bharturarabdha yuddhaha devopetairbhavadanusharaihi sangata bhangamapan kalatmayam vasati purato yadvashat pragjita smaha kimvo yuddhairiti baligira tetapathanamapuhu. So when the Devas also realize that finally the end of Bali is coming, or so at the same they also come there. So the Asuras who are left there, they want to have a battle with the Devas here. So at that time, Bali Maharaj is saying, what are you even doing? Bhagavan himself is right here. He is literally taking over all the 14 worlds. And then you all are trying to battle with each other with this Devas. He says it's not worth it. He's already given up. Bali is already given up. He's saying there's no use with the Asuras trying to battle with the Devas. We are not going to win this because I myself am going to be gone pretty soon, right? So he says he just stops the battle and then all the Asuras then Teta Patala Mapu, they all just go away. So he stops any battle that is happening there. Tavat Daityas Tuanu Matimrite, Bharturarabdha Yuddhaha, Devopetair Bhavadanucharaihi, that is goes away, Visarga comma, Bhavadanucharaihi, Sangata Bhangamapan, Kalatmayam Basati Purato, Yadvashat Pragjitaha, put is Pragjitas Smaha, Kimvo Yuddhairiti Baligira, Teta Pathala Mapuhu.
Rajesh, second line, no, Rati split solungle.
Devopetair bhavadanucharaihi. That is goes away, Visarga comma. Sangata Bhangamapan.
Thank you.
Tavadhaityastvamumati bharturarabdha yuddhaha devopetair bhavadanucharaihi sangata bhangamapan kalatmayam vasati purato yadvashat pragjita smaha kimvo yuddhairiti baligira teta patalamapuhu.
तावद्दैत्यास्त्वनुमति मृते भर्तृरारब्धयुद्धा देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन् कालात्मायं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जितास्. Can you tell that again? Pragjitasmah.
Yeah, Pragjitas Smaha.
Pragjitasmah kim vo yuddhairiti baligira tetha patalamapuhu tavadaityastvamumati mrute bharturarabdha yuddha yuddhaha devopetair Sangata Bhangamapan Kalatmayam Vasati Purato Yadvashan Pragjitasmaha Kimvo Yuddhairiti Baligira Tetha Patalamapuhu.
Tavadaityastvamumati mrute bharturarabdha yuddhaha devopetairbhavadanucharaiः sangata bhangamapan kalatmayam vasati purato yadvashat pragjitasmaha kimvo yuddhairithi baligira tetha patalamapuhu. Tavadaityastvamumati mrute bharturarabdhayuddhaha devopetairbhavadanucharaiः sangata bhangamapan कालात्मयं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैरिति बलिगिरा तेथ पातालमापुः.
Second line, देवोपेतैर् भवदनुचरैः.
देवोपेतैर्भवदनुचरैः.
Yeah. Okay, we'll quickly run through 9 and 10. पाशैर्बद्धं पतगपतिना दैत्यमुच्चैरवादीः तार्तीकं दिश मम पदं किं न विश्वेश्वरोऽसि पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वाम्. So with the two steps, when all the worlds were covered, at the time, the Bhagavan, the primary idea here was to get Bali. Bali is a great, like we said, is a great personality. So he has to go towards liberation. To go towards liberation, there are two things that was required. One of them was to take the pride out of him, that he has everything, right? He felt like he had everything. So to number one, remove the pride. Second thing is you have to remove the ego that he has, that that he is great. So those are the two things. So the pride was removed when with the two steps everything was taken. So now Bali does not have anything. He doesn't own anything anymore. So he's lost everything right now, right? So the pride is gone that I have something. The second thing is that the ego he had, to remove that. So Bhagavan is asking him in an angry voice, it says. But it's like we said, you saw in Narasimha Avataram, Bhagavan is never angry. It is just a show of anger to show that control command there. So he asked, you told me, you promised me, you will give me 3 steps. So I now have only 2. Where do I keep the 3rd step? So when he asks that, but then Bali says, I have absolutely nothing left in me. The only thing I have left is still me, right? That is the ego that I have, which is I am still there as a body. He says, I'm surrendering even my body to you. So with that, the ego goes away, saying, I don't even own my body, right? So with that, he says, Padam Murdni Pranaya Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, you keep your foot on my head. And with that, you take over my entire body also, because even that is not mine anymore. So, right, with that, his ego also goes away. And then that's how he gives up everything that he has, including himself, right? With that, when he does, then it's a Prahlad. So Prahlada and all the great people come there and praise Bali Maharaja, saying that, you absolutely have now attained what someone needs to attain, is a complete detachment with everything that you have, including yourself. So even your body doesn't belong to you. You should be able to give that away, which is what Bali was doing there. And anyway, with that, they all sing praise for Bali Maharaja. So, Pashair Baddham Patagapatina, Daityam, I'm just breaking at the ma. Daityam Uchairavadihi, put a visarga, Next line, the is goes away. Tarti ekam disha mama padam, Kimna Vishweshwarosi Padam Murdni Pranaya Bhagavan. So you'll have a double na and the e. So we're just going to break it. Bhagavan in, Next word becomes a e. Itya Kampam Vadantam, Prahladastam Swayamupagato, Manayan Nastavit. One long word. Manayan Nastavit It Tuam. So double it coming there again.
Can you tell the third last one? Bhagavan.
Bhagavan, Ityakampam. E. So it's a double na with a ni. It's an in and a ni there. When you break it, becomes an in and a e. That's it. So Bhagavan Ityakampam.
There is a comma after in Bhagavan.
Yeah, Bhagavan, Ityakampam Vadantam. Okay, we'll just do one time, Mrinalini and Vidya. Okay. Pashairbadham Patagapatina Daitymuchairavadihi Tarti ekam dishamama padam Kimna Vishweshwarosi Padam Murdni Pranaya Bhagavan Ityakampam Vadantam Prahladastam Swayamupagato Manayannastavitvam.
Pashairbadham Patagapatina Daitymuchairavadihi Tatikam Dishamama Padam Kimna Vishweshwarosi पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवन् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्तवीत्वाम्
पाशैर्बद्धं पतगपतिना दैत्यम् उच्चैरवादीः तार्तीयीकं दिश मम पदं किं न विश्वेश्वरोऽसि पादं मूर्ध्नि प्रणय भगवत् इत्यकम्पं वदन्तं प्रह्लादस्तं स्वयमुपगतो मानयन्नस्त्वमीत्वाम्.
दर्पोच्छित्यै विहितमखिलं दैत्यसिद्धोऽसि पुण्यैः लोकस्तेस्तु त्रिदिव विजयी वासवत्वं च पश्चात् मत्सायुज्यं भजस पुनरेत्यन्व गृह्णा बलिं तं विप्रैः सन्तानितमखबरः पाहि वातालयेश. So then Bhagavan then tells Bali that all this was done to completely remove the pride and any detachment and everything that you had, which you now have completely given everything away. So he says, you next now go to the, to the Sutala region, one of the lower worlds, which you will rule right now there, and which will become great because you are a great ruler. You have all the good characteristics and everything. So the few things, defects you have now been removed later on. So this is all happening in the Vaivasvata Manvantara, which in the next chapter we'll see 32nd Matsya Avataram is the transition, but this is kind of when it is happening. So in the current Manvantara, Bali is the ruler of the Sutala region. Then when the next Manvantara comes, 8th Manvantara, you will become the next Indra, because Bhagavan says, I am going to help you complete the 100th sacrifice that you are doing right now. So you complete the 100th sacrifice, so you become Indra, but you won't replace the current Indra. In the 8th Manvantara, when a new Indra role is then made, you will become that Indra at that time in the next Manvantara. And later on, Matsayujyam. Later on, you'll come and merge with me and get liberated after your role of Indra is done in the 8th Manvantara. So with that, Bali is getting peace. So right now, Bali is the ruler of the Sutala world. And in the 8th Manvantara, he is the new Indra, and then eventually he'll get liberated. Pahi Vatala Yesha Guruvarapa, please eradicate my ailments and protect me. Darpochitye Vihita Makilam, Daitya Siddhosi Punyaihi, Visarga, Next line on the Lokastir Ir goes away. Lokastestu Tridiva Vijayi, Vasavatvam cha paschat. So third line, there is no pause, it's going to go continuous. Matsayujyam bhajacha punarityanva grinna. Cannot break it. Punarityanva grinna balim tam, viprais santanita makhavaraha, pahi vatalayesha. Darpochitye vihitamakilam daitya siddhosi punyaihi lokastestu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat matsayujyam bhajasa punaretyanva grinna balim tam viprai santanita makhavaraha pahi vatalayesha.
Darpochityai vihitamakhilam दैत्यसिद्धोऽसि पुण्यैः लोकस्तेस्तु त्रिदिव विजयी वासवत्वं च पश्चात् मत्स्यायुज्यं भज च पुनरित्यन्वगृह्णा बलिं तं विप्रैः सन्तानितमकवरः पाहि वातालयेश.
Third line, first word, Matsayujyam.
Matsayujyam.
Yeah.
Rajesh, in the second and the locust, and the comma எங்க இருக்குங்க?
Lokastestu tridiva vijayi and then comma.
Okay.
दर्पोचित्यै विहितमखिलं दैत्यसिद्धोऽसि पुण्यैः लोकस्तेस्तु त्रिदिव विजयी वासवत्वं च पश्चात् मत्सायुज्यं भज च पुनरित्यन्वगृह्णा बलिं तं विप्रैः सन्तानितमुखवरः पाहि वातालयेश
Last line.
श्रीकृष्णाय मखवरः पाहि वातालयेश श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे
नमः. सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे अन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye. Bye.